What's going on, everybody? Doc here, Average Gamer Guys, back. Some more Last Day on Earth action, and we are jumping into Blackport PD. So, we are on two things. We're continuing on with our Season 45 grind, going pretty good so far. In addition, I did want to knock out Blackport PD. I've been meaning to do this for a while now. Get some waves in, go ahead and show off at least how I go about taking this down, and certainly we want to get the additional season reward points to keep moving through that track. So a couple of things up front. I recognize that doing these events, by the time I post this video, and even sometimes like with this event, there's only 17 hours left, you're probably not seeing this in time to utilize these strategies in order to take these down. A lot of what I'm saying, especially when it comes to these events and clearing some of these locations, can be used the next time this comes around. So we're trying to get closer, trying to get caught up to be able to do that. But until we get to that point, just recognize that some of the stuff should still be helpful. In addition, I want to talk about, I have already cleared the PD. This is definitely a location that, with few exceptions to a couple zombies, you can really take this out and knock this out without much trouble, and without having to use really probably any guns or very few. So this is a good location to come do, even if you're not going to do the waves, even if you're not going to knock this stuff out from that perspective. Usually ends up being pretty good. So I've cleared out the zombies, I've set up for the waves. We'll talk about that here in a second, but let me show you. I'm going to grab all of the loot from this place just to show you what we ended up getting. So first things first, we actually can use a few of these things. Food and water is going to be really helpful. Again, we've taken out all of the zombies. The good part is, and this would be a very slow grind as with everything in this game, but you can just, again, come in here, knock this out, just kill the zombies without doing the waves, and still make some pretty good loot overall. We will open up some crates on this as well. Okay, we killed almost every zombie except for that guy. 2 keys, that's pretty cool. We don't usually get 2, I feel like. I like to just open all the doors. But it's not bad. So again, you can see we're getting some pretty solid stuff, some good materials, some good items across the board, and we are going to end up picking up at least a handful of the basic police cards, which isn't bad. Some of these rooms are locked. I don't even need those anymore, but some of these rooms are locked, so just keep that in mind. I think you now need a lock picking skill or something, so do keep that in mind as well. Some of the stuff unfortunately is locked behind that. We can open up 2 of these cells. I'm not going to, but we could do that. So not a ton, but you can see we got 10 we got 10 of the sergeant cards, just the basic ones, which not bad. You know, we're kind of working towards a few things there, so that's not terrible. We pick up honestly some good meds. I think we left 1 or 2 equipment items that we don't need, but honestly, SWAT helmet from that crate there near the beginning, or that locker, almost always has at least 1 good piece of armor in it, so that's not bad. Pick up some meds, probably equal out to what you would use in this, and then just a handful of other things. You know, we get a couple of springs, which is pretty nice. So not terrible, not great, but again, not too bad of a location to clear out either. What the other thing you could do is you could just hang on to your keys until you get 6 of them. There is one of the bunks that usually has like some decent stuff in it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna drop this stuff off that we're not gonna use for this. We probably will not use this either, so I'm gonna drop that off. And then let's show you what we got so far and what we're doing to prep up for this, to be able to take these waves out. Now, the nice part about doing this during the event is the fact that we have minus 20% explosive damage, and the reason that that's important is because the best way to stand these waves and to move through them the most quickliest is to use explosives. It shows off the grenade launcher. We're going to do a little bit of everything. We have some mines, which in my opinion are by far the most effective way to take these out. Although I recognize that those are not easy to come by. Grenades are also very effective. And can really help you to knock this out very quickly. So we'll go through a couple of waves. I am going to try to stay in here as long as I can, and we'll show you what wave we end up getting to. The other nice part about doing this during the event is that it can be paused. In addition, if you die, you don't have to use electronic circuit to restart, which is really good. So we're going to get through that. We need to deal a whole lot of damage. We're going to try to knock out every single one of these, but let's jump in. Here's how I've prepared. So I obviously have a very good set of armor on. We are using the brutalizer. Again, just going to use it since we've got it for the VIP rewards. But I do bring a good section of other things. So this is going to be my main set. I just brought a whole bunch. I'm trying to stand a bunch of waves. These are going to be the most important. The mines and our grenades. I think this is absolutely the best way to take these out, and really can eliminate you from having to worry about using a ton of armor, a ton of meds. Makes this actually very, very easy. The mines especially are huge here. We have a few separate guns. We're not going to worry too much about those, but this is how we've set. In addition, I always like to bring an extra set of armor or two, depending on if you're not doing this during the event where you get the explosion protection. Definitely bring 2 sets of armor. You might have to make a couple of trips here. Obviously some extra meds and some food, because we're going to be in here for a while. So just keep that in mind. I want to bring some of the meds up with me. And then I actually am going to hang on and use a good handful of melee weapons. Melee weapons can be great to take out like single zombies, to be able to knock that out. So that's how we're sitting. I'm going to go ahead. We'll get this started. And these first ones are not too bad. The first like 5 waves, pretty easy. You do not have to collect the cards at each wave. I like to do that. There used to be a bug, and there may still be, where if you get too many onto the field, the bodies start actually disappearing, and you could lose some cards. So I just like to pick them up after each stage, just for ease. And again, you could be doing this with melee weapons, so keep that in mind. And remember that we had 10 sergeant cards to get started. It's when we start getting to the explosive zombies that we'll want to use. It's usually about wave 5 or so. Here's a good opportunity to use some small heals. If I could actually use it. Hello? Okay, so first explosive zombie and first riot shield zombie. Again, you can do this with basic weapons. You could probably do a lot of it with melee. It's just going to take you a long time. But to get through 10 waves really isn't bad. We could definitely do the first 10 waves with melee weapons. I have no concern about that. You could probably even come in armorless if you wanted to do that. But here we go. I think we'll try out grenades first. What we're going to do is essentially just toss it at our feet. Wait, run. That was not a good one. We're a little out of practice with these. There we go. So we got most. That's really the idea. You just got to work timing a little bit with the grenades. Again, we're going to use... I'm going to use up some healing items here. I actually think I should try to tank one of these. Yeah, that wasn't bad at all. And again, you're going to have some things to clean up here. Mostly, the biggest thing that you're going to have to deal with, which is why I say melee weapons can actually be very helpful, is the riot zombies. Now, riot zombies are, as you probably know, very, very annoying. I am not a fan of them. Wait, make sure we're close enough. Yeah, The damage that we are basically shedding off from the bonus, very, very helpful to this. And we make pretty quick work of this. We can basically tank this. So we could wait. I think if we wanted to, we could definitely wait till we got basically every zombie here. I mean, we just did a monster amount. We even got the riot zombie in it and the brawler. That's pretty good. And again, I'm just using the food here just to obviously stay up, but also just to do the small bit of healing. We'll throw this at our feet. Yeah, I think we can basically just tank this now with our combination of armor and the minus 20%. So again, very good. Definitely recommend, if you don't do this during the event, just keep in mind that you're going to take a pretty significant amount of damage from the grenade if you end up using those. And grenades, like I said, grenades are relatively, in terms of the things that we are using here, they are relatively easy to get. So that's why I make this recommendation and want to show this. But I will go ahead and I will swap over. Let's do the mines. Now the mine is going to be like easy mode. Essentially what you want to do, you have to be careful on placement here, but you want to set it as close to this door as you can. And what's going to end up happening is the first zombie is going to trigger this and the door will be open, and you might still get some riot zombies to be left over, but it's going to work the same way. It's going to explode all these guys and the wave's basically just going to be over before it starts. Boom, right there, and it's done. Which is why mines are just the absolute best. Ooh, double green cards. That's pretty nice for I think what we on wave 11. So you just want to place it as close. It takes a little bit of practice just to get it into the right location. Put it centered. Shouldn't have any problem. And again, we get a riot zombie left over. Sometimes they come out with the shields, and if they don't, sometimes they're just a little too far away. But I will definitely take having to just deal with one riot zombie versus having to deal with this whole big mob of enemies, which is pretty cool. Nice part here is we are actually also, this is counting towards our season rewards, which is really nice. So we're going to get some really good points here. I'll do a few more mine waves, and then I'm honestly just going to kind of grind this. And I do want to show where we get to at the end, so I will do that. But hopefully these techniques are helpful. Again, if you have the event, just get through wave 10 pretty good. You're gonna get some good cards. You can see if you can go a little bit farther than that, even up to maybe wave 15. We've got some green, which these are green are great for the crates here at the PD. I will show off one or two of those maybe. Sergeant cards, we can turn 10 of those into a green card, which is really, really good. So worthwhile to do a little bit of grind, and I don't think again that you're going to be using a whole ton of resources to be able to do this. So the PD is a good place to just do some consistent grinding, get some materials, get some good weapons, and do those kinds of things. So with that, we'll grind some waves, and we'll check back in here once we've knocked a bunch of this out. Okay, so we are back. I did not intend that it was going to take us to level 86 in order to get the damage done. I'm not sure if that's intended. That might be accurate. We've been obviously using grenades, lots of explosives, a whole bunch of different things to try to be successful. We did have some additional mines actually in our storage, which we used to make these waves go by. So what I did want to show off is the last bit of us grabbing the damage, and then I realized I never used the grenade launcher at any point during this, so want to show at least one wave of doing this. A couple of things also to note really quick. Wave 16, we got really lucky, was our first blue card. I really strongly suggest don't go for the damage if you don't have the resources to do it here, but go to about wave 20. You should be able to, if you're lucky, hopefully find a blue card, maybe one or two. I think actually wave 15, it was like 16 and 17 or 15 and 16. We got a blue card in each, which is absolutely fantastic. So we'll be showing that here in just a second in terms of what the loot looks like. But in addition, I wouldn't go much farther than that. Waves will kind of steady out and get pretty consistent after wave 20 in terms of difficulty. Like I said, you can definitely tackle this a lot of different means. Explosives are absolutely the best, with mines being preferred. But let me show you what essentially a wave with the grenade launcher looks like. And essentially we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to eat some of the damage. We shoot it, we blow it up. We eat the damage. Sometimes you don't. It's actually a little bit more efficient to being able to keep them away from you. And that's really it. Now, again, the good part about grenades is if you basically can stand on and learn the timing of the grenade explosion, you can actually limit yourself to taking the damage there. The tough part with the grenade is it sits in one spot and the zombies are obviously going to follow you. So you essentially have to stand on it, take the damage, and then run away after that point. The damage from being hit by the zombies, I should say, rather than the damage from the grenade. And you're going to eat that damage from the grenade from time to time with the timing. The good part about that, as you saw, is you're able to clump everything up. You can essentially wait for everything to get in that. Riot zombies can still block the explosive damage with their shield, which I think is a little silly. They should be vulnerable to that, in my opinion. But it is what it is, so you're still probably going to have to clean them up. Grenade launcher, as you saw, much more effective to being able to eliminate you from taking damage, although fast-moving zombies might still be a challenge for you in terms of actually taking the damage from the grenade launcher explosion. And you have to remain still while you're shooting it, or it won't explode. Essentially, you don't get the shot from it. So lots of different avenues to go about taking this down, but you saw we did get the 9,500 damage, or 95,000 damage. It took us to wave 86 to get to do that. So pretty crazy, but I'm going to finish this up. I'm going to go to 99 since we only have 13 waves left, and we'll jump back in and we'll show the loot off and the crate opening once we get to that point. Be right back. All right, we're back and we have one wave to go and we're gonna finish this thing up. We did this really efficiently. I'm actually pretty happy. This did take me the better part of an hour to get done as well, so I don't want it to seem, obviously we cut out a lot of it, but I don't want to seem like this was an easy grind at all. This is definitely the longest grind in this game in a single playthrough. Single sitting, I guess, is a good way of putting it. There's lots of other long grinds in terms of builds, but let's go ahead and knock this out and then we'll share what we got. Like I said, level 20, wave 20 or so is a great stopping point, I think, for lots of folks. You can take it down pretty easily, pretty efficiently, and make some good loot, and we'll show that here in a minute. But let's get the ceremonious wave 99 done. And we'll do it in style here with the grenade launcher. Big damage. Blow these guys up. This hungry chomper is not making this easy for us. And that is it. We'll grab the last of our cards here. Wave 99 done. That is wild. Now here's the crazy part. We were at about 45 when we started this thing. Now obviously we got the event points, which was pretty good, but we made it all the way up to 61. That is a lot. We, again, obviously we did 99 waves of zombies, so I would expect that it would be pretty heavy. The good part here, take a look, and I didn't realize this in the reward track, you actually do get some mines and a couple of other weapons that'll be helpful in future iterations of being able to do this, even on the free track. Let's take a look here. I forget what's in these. Nothing super great in those crates. But again, you do get some mines up here at level 60, which is, that's a far grind, but not unachievable. You obviously get some weapons along the way. So I guess it is just the 3. You'd have to work through a couple of seasons, but those are they're so good. They're so good at taking out these waves and finishing this off. So let's take a look at the cards that we got. So we ended up with 13 blue, 65 green to finish, and then what, 100, 203, 322 of the orange sergeant cards here. So again, if you're not familiar with the location, we can jump in here, we can do a whole bunch of trades. We are going to trade a whole bunch of these up. I want to do this, and I want to split off. I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll trade up. So we're going to trade up to here. This is a lot of green. But I like to keep, we'll keep about 27 of those, 20 blue cards, 27 green, and 2 sergeants. Seems pretty good. I want to show off one of each of these crates, and we actually have from a supply run, I think we actually have a purple card here. It should be pretty close to the top. We do. So we are going to be able to do, let's jump in. We have every one of these built. So we're going to be able to do what, 5 packages. I'm going to do one of each and actually probably do 2 blue. So let's take a look at one of each of the cards here for Blackport PD and the loot that we get. We'll start with the best one, purple one. I have not opened up many of these. So we'll do 2 blue, do 1 green, and we'll do 1 of the sergeant cards. And then we'll start with here. So I do strongly recommend, as we take a look at these rewards are usually not great. Melee weapon and a couple of things. Not worth it. Definitely worth to hang on to the sergeant cards and trade them up to at least green. Now, I actually really like the green one. A lot of times you're going to get a low level blueprint. Not always, but a low level blueprint. You're almost always going to see some type of gun in this slot, and it can range from an M16 to a Glock shotgun, and then you're going to get this random weapon crate, which is really good, which can have a myriad of different things in it, but can have some guns. We unfortunately didn't get that, but we got a machete, which is amongst the best melee weapons. Plus, again, you get some good materials here, I think. Aluminum plate's not bad. You get some good armor as well. So green crates are really, really solid. A great way to earn some blueprints early, some of the basic ones, just some of the common ones, which is just good as you're starting out or as you're working through your grind, in addition to being able to stock up on some weapons and some guns, which is really good. So I really like the green ones. I think those are the best value. If you can go and you have the resources to get to blue, take a look in the blue crate. Pretty good. We got a blue blueprint here. We got a full set of armor, some meds. We did get a steel plate, which is obviously solid, and then 2 guns. Pretty good. That's going to seem to be pretty normal here. We'll check out the other blue one. Same thing, 2 guns. We get a blue blueprint there. We get a steel plate, set of armor. Again, some other good items. Caps is actually pretty interesting to see that we're going to get in, I think, just about all of these, except for the basic one. Now, this is the big one. This is the big... I've probably opened... In my time in playing, I've probably opened only like 3 of these. So we get the silencer for the Glock. If we didn't have this already, this would be monstrous. Now, the cool part here is we do get 4 guns. We get a full set of SWAT armor. If you are on the search for these extremely rare blueprints, this is a good way to go about getting them. But the grind to get to these is so crazy. You saw that even doing 99 waves, we would not have gotten to this card, which is actually, that's not true. We would have gotten what, 2 of them, I guess. I would rather have the 18 blue and the 26 green crates out of this for all of the supplies rather than a couple of extremely rare blueprints, personally. Not that it's not worth it. If that's what you're hunting for, by all means, but that's pretty crazy. So a whole crazy set of gear that we ended up picking up here. But again, if you can get to the green and or the blue, I think those are the best bang for your buck. And green, don't underestimate the green ones. These are really good, and a lot of times you can be walking out of here, if you can do even 3 or 4 of these crates, you can be walking out with 6 to 8 guns, and really good ones, really solid ones with some blueprints to boot, which is pretty nice. So that's gonna wrap it up. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. Thanks for checking out. I'm gonna flash the socials, do all that stuff. Again, like I said at the beginning, I apologize that I can't get these up in time to actually maybe impact the event, but a lot of the tips and everything I went over is going to be super helpful for you the next time this event comes around. Or if you choose to just go and do this, I really recommend doing Blackport PD every time it comes up on reset. You don't have to do the waves at all. If you can get in and do about 20 waves, that's great. If not, just clear it. You're going to end up making probably a green card or close to it. If you're lucky, by the time you make it out, just clearing the regular zombies. Do that a handful of times, and you get yourself a blue crate before you know it, and then probably some good supplies to be able to maybe go in and work through and get up to that level or that wave 20. And like I said, we got really lucky, but we did see 2 blue cards inside of that 20 waves, which is really good. Plus a handful of green and a lot of the regular sergeant cards as well. So hopefully you enjoyed. We got some other stuff coming up in terms of events. I think we're going to be taking on and I want to go through and actually do Big Hunt, and I want to show this off and just jump around to a couple locations. Gold Rush is just us spending stuff. We probably won't do that. And then we got Bunker Alpha coming up here pretty soon, and again up to wave 61, so pretty happy with that in terms of our goals for season 45. So hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for being here. Thanks for checking out. Thanks for the support and the comments and everything on the channel. Really do appreciate it. It's very much, and glad everyone's enjoying the Last Day on Earth content. And if you have any questions or comments or anything down below, feel free to share with us. We'll close it out. Doc Average Gamer, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.